Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm looking for a pen. Can you believe you have to buy pens in America? Bernie wouldn't have done this to us. Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Hello, Chemda. Here's a news story I came across today. A panhandler and her male friend assaulted a man here in New York City, a Times Square CVS. Here's what happened. The victim's 41, a construction worker, was walking into the CVS at Broadway and West 40th, popular place, 8:30 p.m. on a Friday. A handler said, "Hey, can I have a couple bucks?" The construction worker said, "Fuck off," walked into the store. When he came back out, there's a woman and man together. The panhandler, the guy, somebody threw bleach in the person's face, and then the other person stabbed him.
Wow. Is that what fuck off means?
Assume everybody is a secret shopper. And some of them may kill you. Always assume. If you bump into this, Kyle will do that. My girlfriend, if somebody bumps into her, she gives a look, and I'm like, I say thank you. I go, thank you for bumping into me. She'll give a look. That scares me so much.
Well, the way you describe Kyle, sometimes it sounds like she's amped up, and it's like she gets out of her house, gets onto the train, and in her mind, it's I wish you would.
Yes.
Like sometimes, you're having a bad day and you wish someone would. And It feels like when she's with you and you're 6'2", and, that's pretty big. So she can wish people would a lot because she also hopes that you will once they would.
Right. Now she'll be like, did that person just? I'm like, that person did not just. Don't worry about it. KeithandTheGirl.com/awards. That's a cool link to pass around to people. It's all 14 nomination episodes we've done. It's all 14 winner episodes where we call the person who won. KeithandTheGirl.com/awards. Also, your VIP package. We talked to Newsy on Wednesday, released the Q&A for all you fantastic VIPs. You got to hear this show. What Chew thinks is a vanilla week.
Yep. He's like, not much happened. I almost died in the following ways.
It would have made anybody else's autobiography. Yeah.
Right. Every week, something new. Of course, VIP, you can get at KeithandTheGirl.com/VIP. It's our premium package with a bunch of shows.
He also mentioned he's going to be at OMAC Club next week. Come this 1 minute at a time program. So see if that happens. Sign up for OMAC Club for free via the link that we sent you if you backed our Kickstarter. Okay. Let's see. If you don't have it, email omat@keithandthegirl.com. We want you to take advantage of this Keith and the Girl week. All right. Also with VIP, me and Craig will record an episode right after this Sunday Steelers and Chiefs game.
Right, when you guys are at your most emotional.
Yes.
Like one of you will be wishing the other one would.
The Steelers shouldn't be there, and the Chiefs are the best. So if the Steelers lose, they'll be out of this. They're the best team going.
But you're a Steelers fan.
I just know what the best is. I can't play dumb.
Oh, wow.
Sure. And the most likely
I didn't know football was allowed to like that. I thought you always had to, like, don't talk about my daddy, like that kind of thing.
I see. No, you can admit.
Oh, okay.
Things are obvious. But Steelers have to win. Well, they both do, I guess. But it's not looking good for the Steelers. But on the off chance they pull a miracle, sometimes the Steelers, they're slipping on banana peels, or they're blowing your mind with something great. I think Craig would kill himself if the Steelers win.
Really? Oh, that's why you're like, fuck it. Let the other team win. This is my best buddy.
Let's see what
wants
happens.
to talk to me on a regular basis.
I said, are you going to be too high to record? He said, yeah, let's do it.
That's cool. You and Craig and the Diamond Dog series is bananas. I was listening to your Christmas special, and I think everyone needs to listen to this, if only for the sing-along in the beginning with the two of you.
Drummer boy, drummer boy.
You can never tell if Keith is sincere or like you're super into it so much that you think you're sort of making fun of it. And then it comes back to, no, I think he's having a really good time. And then you have to hear their fake reality show idea, or it starts with Keith, but then
first of all, if that doesn't tell you all about my singing, I think he's sincere. But you were saying about the reality show idea. How good is this idea?
I don't. You had me for like a second because it's very funny, but Craig had some good counterpoints. But also, we learned that he tried out for the real world, and he made a tape. And I say we demand that tape.
I agree. Maybe they'll be part of the football bet.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So get VIP, of course. Keith and the Girl VIP is our premium content. KeithandTheGirl.com/VIP. Thank you to all our VIPs.
Today's guest featured on the Late Late Show with James Corden. I know a joke I saw. He was talking about the PETA. It tells you not to, don't be eating turkeys. Why would you eat turkeys? Would you eat your dog? And Dave's like, would I eat my dog? First of all, it's my dog. I'd eat your dog. Drunk history. Wow. It's your joke.
Keith, you start with paraphrasing our guest stand.
Oh my God. I've never heard my any of my stand-up jokes like I think only like intro? 4 times in my life have I heard someone just say them back to me at all, but to have them said back to me like abridged and sort of like winking, like, you know what you said.
You did it. You didn't mind.
It's a dog and you eat it. You heard it. Say the joke.
He's been on Drunk History. What the fuck with Mark Maron. Dave Ross. Hello, Dave.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me. I'm pulling that clip out of the video of this and I'm posting it fucking everywhere, man.
It's a good joke you had, right?
Thank you. No, I love the joke and I felt that you liked it, but it also I don't know if it's just that you guys are New Yorkers and I'm not around New Yorkers as much as I used to. Like, you fucking with the dogs, they don't eat them. Eat them though.
Dave Ross.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Yeah, totally. And that joke, what's funny is that so that joke is, you could argue that joke is like politically conservative of me. It's not. It's just a silly joke, but you could argue it, right?
Sure.
Because what I'm saying is like PETA is terrible, and I very much believe in animal rights, and I don't need to go on that rant. But I say that in a joke. But I also say that PETA is very stupid about it, and the way that PETA goes about it is very annoying because they manipulate human beings into doing things, and they're like, you wouldn't eat a turkey, so why wouldn't you? You wouldn't eat your dog, so why would you eat a turkey? And my argument is that I would eat dogs. I just would. And but whatever. No, I wouldn't. But you know what I'm saying. Anyway, my point is,
Keith, you shouldn't have done that. Look what you did to him.
No.
I see. First of all, Dave, admit I was close. Okay. Secondly,
you were very close. No, you were closer than I am. No, the reason I say all that is that that's the joke, and so you could see how it could be like skewed as like hating animal rights or something, right? It's the only joke I've ever had that's like that. And I purposely put it on my record because I got a lot of jokes that are about, whatever, being good to people. And I wanted to have a joke right up top of my album that's like, no, I don't give a fuck about anything at all. Who cares, right? And of course, that's the joke that people find. And I get really angry messages from like animal rights people that are like, you die. Someone threatened to kill my girlfriend. Dude.
Listen, Dave, you wanted to be the bad boy of comedy.
I did.
Up front. I'm an edgy guy. And this is what hey,
that's
Dave,
what real comedy is.
This is what edgy guys get. They get, these like, I'm gonna beat you up. Dude.
Right.
Welcome.
You're right. I deserved it.
Felt.
And that's what you get when you're a truth teller like me, like a real comic. All real comics are prophets who tell the truth all the time.
They just threatened my life. Yay! I mean, which
so
joke was it?
It's always the PETA joke. It's always and who doesn't care are like all my friends who are vegan. Like nobody cares. It's just like. Every now and then someone loves PETA and they threaten my life and the life of those in my family. And I think that says a lot about PETA.
What kind of right. Yeah. What kind of threats were you and your family and your girlfriend were getting?
Oh, I just get Instagram messages that are very angry. And I just had one person like say a bunch of like really violent stuff. And
much you can't even repeat it.
Yeah, I don't want to say it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like to a degree where I just wrote back all caps, what, and like 10 exclamation points.
Wow.
And then it was really funny because it very quickly devolved into them explaining themselves and me being like, this is wrong. You just threatened like assault and murder on my family. And it included assault. It included threatening. It included threatening something I just don't want to bring up. And I was like, this is insane. Why did you say this? You're horrible. I'm like going to report you not only to Instagram, but to the police. And they were like, wait, don't do that. I just didn't like your joke. And I was like, why not?
Have your attention. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And they're like, I like PETA. And I was like, I doubt PETA wants you to do this.
I don't know. I don't know if I doubt that because PETA's pretty, you think you're the bad boy. They're the bad boy of animals.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I think it's funny. Like, you know, there are a lot of messages that people, it's so bad you don't even want to repeat. And when you were saying that, like, I don't even want to repeat it. And then I wrote back, I wanted to say, did you write back Beetlejuice? Because maybe that's what we should do. Like, this is so bad I can't even repeat it. That's one. You got one Beetlejuice. Now keep writing to other people. See if you get 3 Boogeyman shows up at your door.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a great idea. Hell yeah. Candyman, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
Totally.
When you were, I want to ask you about Drunk History. First of all, it's one of the greatest shows ever made. Right?
Totally. Yeah.
A drunk tells some story that obviously, you know, don't use this for a term paper or anything, any of the knowledge they give you, but, you know, some story about George Washington, but they're falling all over the place. And then the actors acted out as, you know, they're sober, of course, but there's, you know, acting as drunk as the drunkard. You were the drunk person. I'm always curious how they know you in the comedy community. Is it offensive when they ask you to be on that? Because they do need a real drunk, right? Like you can't be the first time you're going to be drunk and you throw up and they waste all that time. You have to be able to handle your shit and be a mess. Is it offensive?
No, I didn't get offended. First of all, I did drink a lot at the time that they asked me. And so it didn't even enter my brain that maybe that was bad. Like nowadays, I think I would be like, hey, like
that's what alcohol does. They know who they're asking. Totally. Whoever's drinking that much is not thinking, is this a bad idea? They're thinking, this just got me a show. No time to stop now.
Exactly.
I mean, there are some people who can't be on the show who, like Jesse Joyce, loves history, loves learning about it, loves telling you about it. He can't be on the show because he's got another stupid chip from AA.
Yeah. Right. Wow. I had never thought about that until y'all brought it up. That's interesting. Like it never had occurred to me. Because I don't really drink as much lately, though I'd still drink. And the other day, this is true. Like I said, I'm 39 years old. I don't drink as much as I used to, granted. And maybe this is why this happened. But I threw up from drinking the other day, like all night, like an 18-year-old. I couldn't believe it. My girlfriend was like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I had beer. I drank beer. But I guess I drank so much that I became a frat boy like 4 days ago. Anyway,
your body's getting ready for your 40s where you get acid reflux from absolutely everything.
Oh my God. Is that what it is? Is it just easier to puke when you're older?
That mechanism doesn't work as well in your body to decide to like open up for it to keep going through when it comes out the other way.
I mean, it's honestly a relief that that's maybe just a more normal thing than the fact
that's not for you to relax upon. That's not. It's like, oh, I thought I couldn't drink. I just can't do anything anymore.
Well, in either case, I can't drink. I just like the other option was that I like drink 12 beers and I don't notice. That's what I was worried about. I was worried that I'm some sort of alcoholic, that I was hanging out with like 5 other guys. We were sitting down. We were having adult conversations. You know what I mean? If I had gotten blackout drunk, just like, hey guys, shots, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to be that. It's definitely better to have a disease is what I'm saying. But
by the way, is the host Derek Waters, do we worry about his drinking? I had a podcast called My Name is Keith, taken after Kenda's What's My Name title for her spinoff podcast. And I'd get drunk with the guest, you know, beyond, and surprise, surprise, I'm an alcoholic. Are we worried about Derek Waters, as great as an idea as this is?
You know, honestly, I don't know him very well, but I would actually say from the little bit, like I like got to know him a little bit making the show, and then I've seen him around here and there, and I would say that he's a drinker, but I actually am not worried with the little bit I know him, because
He's the only one staying upright the whole time.
Absolutely. And he did have like a little bit to drink, but he didn't get drunk on set. I don't believe. I think he does sometimes. I've seen the show and it seems like he gets pretty drunk sometimes. But I definitely got, man.
Do they feed you? You know, do they be like, you're ready for another one? You're like, I'm not done with this one. Like, how do they nicely encourage you to get drunk?
They do that. That's a very good way of saying it. They nicely encourage you to get drunk. They also have a nurse on site. And
what could the nurse do?
The nurse
alcohol poisoning. What could they do?
If they have alcohol, if you have alcohol poisoning, I don't know.
Well, anything.
I mean, they administer oxygen to every single person who does the show. When I was done, they administered like oxygen to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, am I the drunkest ever?" And the nurse was like, "No, we do this to everybody. Makes your hangover not exist." And it was true. Wow. I wasn't hungover, and it was one of the drunkest I've ever been in my life. Yeah.
When you saw yourself back, were you happy with how it came out?
Yeah. I was really proud of it. Yeah.
Is that how you family?
Yes, except I showed it to my family, loved it. Except my father has to this day never watched it. In fairness, my parents are like, I don't know, my relationship with them is kind of distant, sort of. And so they don't really watch my stuff in general. But this one, especially, my extended family's crazy they're so supportive. They watch all my stuff. My aunt, my dad's little sister, was like, did you see him on Drunk History? And he goes, I'm not watching that. And she was like, why? And he goes, I'm going to watch my son get drunk on television. And she was like, it was great.
I get it, though. I get it.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Nah, but like, you're missing the point, you know, as a father. And I feel like if you dismiss it so quickly, you're probably missing other points.
No, he's missing I will say this, and I say this fine. Like I would say this to his face, and I probably should. And you know what? I will. They're both, my parents are missing the point on my whole comedy career. They think I'm being an adolescent. They think I'm messing around. They think that my mom still brings up going back to school. And my parents are generally pretty supportive, and they don't like shame me for it. They don't get mad, but they like don't get that. So that's part of it. My dad's like, he got drunk. He's messing around. He's not taking this serious. Right. He's not taking his life seriously. They have no idea how seriously I'm taking it. Yeah.
I've said this on the show before. In my 20s, I was on tour, like in an actual tour bus. And this was like a big deal for me. And, you know, this was when, like, if you're calling someone on a cell phone, you're counting the minutes because it's costing you.
Yeah.
My mom calls and I'm like, hi, you know, she's like, oh, when are you going to stop with all of this? And I'm like, what? She's like, when are you going to get married? I'm like, I have a show tonight at the Commodore. Okay. I will meet you in New York. I'm going to be performing in Irving Plaza. Dude, it's down the block. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
She's like, just, okay. I got to get off because you're costing me minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I know what I'm doing with my career. I'm on Drunk History. I'm on Heroin Shopping tomorrow. Mom, you don't know what I'm doing. You don't get it. You don't get the new generation.
Heroin Shopping tomorrow sounds great. Sounds long. Sounds like a long show.
Have you done heroin?
Have I done heroin? I have done heroin.
You don't give a fuck. I can tell.
Yeah, man. I don't give a fuck. I live in an outhouse.
Your parents told us.
But how long ago was that?
That was a long time ago in college.
How was it?
I mean, you know, as far as the high goes, it's great, but don't do it. It's bad. It's bad. It's a high that's so good. It's real bad. And yeah, you learn that like right away. I lucked out. I did a bunch of drugs when I was young. But I have such bad anxiety. Probably one of the reasons I gravitated towards drugs, but I have such bad anxiety that even as a person who did drugs, I was really, really scared of doing them wrong. So I always did a little bit of a lighter version than the more hardcore people around me. And that's not, I would do a lot, but I never injected heroin, for example. And thank God for that.
That's the big one, right? They say that's when that's too much.
That's when it takes over your life. I mean, that's what they say. Like if you do it twice, you're physically addicted to it and you have withdrawals.
But you know who
quit.
says I never injected heroin?
Bill
Heroin
Clinton.
users.
Right.
I have never in my life had to tell people I never injected heroin.
Sure.
I've only heard that from people who did heroin.
Right. Sure. I mean, I did smoke heroin. I'm not, I did. But I'm glad I didn't inject it. The thing is that it's like you're not wrong. Like, I've gotten this far. It's not really saying that much that I didn't take that step, except for I might have not come back from it is the only thing. A lot of people don't come back from it. Some do.
But yeah, did it get bad, or did you just realize it could get bad?
I just realized it could get bad. And again, I was also nervous. I would never do it I would never do it 2 days in a row. But this is the limits I was hitting. I was doing it every other day for like a year or so, and I was smoking it. I wouldn't shoot it. I'm glad I gave myself these limits, but I was doing it as much as I could inside of those limits because I did really like it. Obviously,
the CDC says don't do it 2 days in a row. Right?
Yeah, totally. They say wear a mask while you're shooting heroin. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It just when you imagine getting high off of downers that strong, like any opioid or opiate, heroin, Oxycontin, codeine, morphine, all that stuff, when you've never done it, what you imagine is a really intensified feeling of being high on weed, right? Like you are like very, very body high and you just like feel really good and sort of zoned out. That was not my experience. My experience was that I felt high, yeah, but I felt clear-headed, without anxiety, without worry, and both of those to such a degree that I felt like the real me. And that's why it kills you, I think.
Right.
I think that it just like it so intensely removes pain from you that it removes emotional pain. And sure, that sounds great, right? But then you're off it and you no longer know how to deal with emotional pain. And so you need it completely all the time. And it costs a lot of money. And also you can't get that high all the time. You have to keep upping the dose. And so before you know it, you're ruining your own life in order to just have defense mechanisms. It's horrible.
How far down did you get?
Not that far. Not that far.
So then what would make you stop doing it? Because it sounds like you found that sweet spot.
Oh, I mean, there's no sweet spot, really. I mean, first of all, I had a sweet spot for a couple of reasons. I had a friend who wanted it's like the most
because you're not selling the downside. Well, this is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, I'm not.
No. Because it sounds like you found a way to maintain enough to not have to deal with it.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess I don't know how to word it in such a way that that's a really big downside, because that feels like a really big downside to me. But like, it's just not tenable. And so here's what my situation was. I was in college, so I didn't have any responsibilities except my school. And I had a friend who did inject heroin, who was very much addicted to it. And he wanted his stuff for free. So he would get it for us and overcharge us and keep charging us more and more so he could get his stuff for free. And I quite frankly didn't care about that because it's the most illegal drug in the world. And he had to go to a super dangerous place to buy it from people. And he never told me where that was. So that element was removed from me. So you're always in danger from getting arrested and getting hurt by the people that you're buying it from. You know what I mean? He had to hide it inside his body a bunch of times. He also has been in and out of rehab his entire life. We haven't talked in a long while, but he was in and out of rehab for a while. We had a friend who died, and was
that tough? Like, I know you're out of rehab, but can you get me a
help me out? Yeah, right. I mean, that was the thing, though. You're asking if I found a sweet spot. I don't know. Like, if I had any responsibilities outside that at all, that all would have fallen apart. And
you were doing your schoolwork?
Not really.
No. Were you dropping out?
I barely graduated with enough credits because I dropped out of most of my classes when I was a senior, but I had already amassed enough credits. Literally, a lot of the reason was from AP credits. I see what you're saying. I don't want the message of this to be do heroin. But like, yeah, I don't know. That was my weird experience with it. I just got really panicked that it would get worse and I quit. But,
so you sort of got lucky that you found that understanding right before you got worse.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like,
how'd you get off it?
I mean, I just stopped. I have a very rare man. Yeah, this conversation is now scaring me because I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be the guy that makes heroin sound cool because it doesn't. Not. I mean, my life fell apart. I don't talk to any of the people from that life. From that part of my life, it destroyed all my friendships and relationships. Everyone that I hung out with was just doing heroin, and that's the reason we liked each other. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't do my schoolwork. I didn't do anything. I just did that. And
when you saw people shoot up, did they shoot up and pass out immediately?
I never saw anybody shoot up. They wouldn't. That was another thing. I wasn't like as my friends all knew I was a little bit of a scaredy cat and a lightweight. And so and there were only 2 of them or 3 maybe that wodo that, and they would do it far away from me. Yeah.
When you were on What the Fuck with Marc Maron, I noticed this as a listener that if he's not talking to Brad Pitt and he's talking to a comedian, there's probably a beef between him and that comedian, and he makes you come to him, and then he'll forgive the whole situation. Did you guys have a falling out that had to be addressed?
We had tension for sure, but a falling out, I don't know. What's funny is that I definitely felt a tension that I in hindsight wonder if he knew was there. And this is what I mean. I knew Mark because I ran a show in downtown LA called Holy Fuck.
Okay.
That he did a bunch. And I started that show when I was 3 months into comedy. It's a long story, but my friend had a venue. I started a show. The venue disappeared before the first show. I panicked. I found a new venue because I had already booked some people. And it was just like, I had started the show to help a friend out. I was only 3 months in. I had no business running a show that famous people would do when I was 3 months into being a comedian, but it just happened. And so my perspective on people was that, and their perspective on me was that. And so I had a lot of tenuous interactions with Mark at my show. That was him being frustrated with there not being a lot of people there, or him I don't know, just being grumpy or whatever. And I had stacked them all up in my mind to think this dude hates me. And we did have a tenuous conversation that was about it. What was funny was he said something at the beginning of the interview that was rude, and I lashed out, and you can hear it. It's right at the beginning. He said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "You booked me. You tell me why I'm here." That was the beginning of our interaction. And then
do you think you were right that he's doing some kind of power play?
At the time I did for a long time, but in hindsight, I really don't know, because the way that our conversation went, he was very you are a young comic and that bothers me. And I just don't know, because he very well could have, because he has been rude. He was rude to me.
He has a way of talking for sure. He was nice to us, but at one point he does ask me you only do stand up once a year. Who do you do it for? Your fans, I guess. And I go, who do you play for? Your enemies? Yeah, for my fans, I guess. Right. And then we were best pals. But yeah, there's a tone there for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's I've actually felt bad about that interaction, because I definitely feel he was rude to me at my show before then a few times, for sure. But You know what else? He was also really nice to me at my show a few times. And so I walk in with this baggage, and I'm ready to go. I'm all keyed up because I'm assuming, because of the tone of his show, that this is going to be what it is. And I'm just I'm immediately, and you can hear him. He goes, "Wow," right away. He said that. And so in hindsight, I don't know. It might have been me that was being a dick. It might have been him. I just don't know. But the conversation was good after that. Yeah.
By the way, going back 1 second, you do a weekly show in LA. Are you still doing that with COVID?
Well, it's on break right now for Omicron. We're like locking down until this surge gets figured out. But we'll be back in February, I would imagine.
Tell him the name of the show.
It's called Good Heroin.
Interesting. Okay. Just interesting. That's all. Let me take a break right here. I want to talk about stamps.com. If you're a small business owner, you're busy enough as it is. You don't have time to deal with the hassle of going to the post office. With stamps.com, you skip the trip. You never waste another dollar. You never waste another minute. They let you print official postage right from your computer. And when you sign up for their free trial, you get free postage. That's money. That's amazing to me. Save time, save money with stamps.com. You don't want to be going out. You didn't like going out when we were allowed to go out to the post office. Now it's worth it. Now you're risking your life to go out. Come on. Sign up with the promo code KATG at stamps.com for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, a digital scale that you keep no matter what happens, no long-term commitments, no contracts. Go to stamps.com, click the microphone on the top of the page, and enter code KATG.
This honestly sounds like one of our deals where we fuck up and we don't realize, this is going to be the end of us if we keep this going. Like one time, I think there was a time where I mislabeled a t-shirt in our store and it was free. And like a couple people got it. And it's like, well, I'm not going to tell them I mislabeled it. You get a shirt for free. I'm even paying for the postage. This sounds like we fuck up like that all the time. Yeah. Always go to our links super fast. As soon as we say go to the link, you find the fuck up. You still get to have it, and it's fine. This sounds like one of those.
Yeah,
please.
We moved from this studio, and because of COVID to me and him our houses where we live. We set up studios for each of us separately. Anyway, we're selling boxes, things we would call mystery box, and we're throwing in camcorders. Who knows what's on that? Real shit. But okay, it helps us clean out the studio. $50. That's quite a deal, I think, for the listener. We didn't add postage. These are heavy boxes. We're paying to send those out. Candace, right? That's what stamps.com deal sounds like. They fucked up in a big way. So take advantage now before they figure it out.
But that's why you have to go now. Stamps.com and use code KATG because that's what's getting you the free stamps. That's what's getting you the free scale that you don't have to return. Don't look behind you. Don't worry about it. You find the nearest computer and just do it. Okay. Because someone's got to tell them to take this back at some point.
Right. Speaking, by the way, of girlfriends, do you have one now? Is this the same person we're talking about?
Yeah.
How many years?
We met in quarantine.
Oh,
yeah. So it's been like a year and a half. Yeah.
Your whole relationship is pandemic.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah. So we've been together 42 years. Yeah.
and right. Ironically, you've actually been together 42 days, but that's how everything.
Totally.
So, wow. How did you meet? Online Zoom show, perhaps backstage.
Oh my God. Backstage on Zoom. That would be hilarious. I wish that would be such a silly story. No, we met on Bumble, which is just not really that good of a story, but I'm glad for it. It's great. It's everyone's going to say this about their current relationship, but it's my best relationship by far. It just really works,
Pandemic really works for you guys.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like the coronavirus. Yeah. I think it's good. No, it's great. It's a great relationship. We met on Bumble. By the way, quick Bumble fact. I don't know. Maybe you guys have seen this, but it's one of my favorite occurrences in the past few months. It's wonderful. This is so you're aware of the conceit of Bumble, right? The way that Bumble works.
The woman writes first?
The woman writes first. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's what's advertised. It works just like Tinder.
So no gays allowed? Like, how does that?
Actually, I think man to man, it doesn't matter. I think anyone can
as usual
first. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Goes. That's so funny. But yes, at least in hetero, like cishet relationships, girl messages first. And everyone knows this. It's how it was advertised. Tinder, where the women message first. There is currently a class action lawsuit. You
said Tinder. Do you mean Bumble?
It's the Tinder where women message.
It's just like Tinder, except women message
I see.
first. Yeah,
Sorry, okay.
I was like, I got an email offering for me to be a part of this class action lawsuit because I guess I was using Bumble during this time. And it's literally a man suing Bumble who says that it's discrimination, that he is not allowed to
Holy shit.
Well,
and they settled.
Holy
and we're
shit.
getting paid. And I didn't sign up for it because I don't want to be a loser forever, you know? Just to put $12 in my bank account or whatever that would end up paying me. But yeah, this is a real person.
First of all, it's funny that they never got together with their lawyers, Bumble, and said, "Hey, is it okay if we just make the woman talks first? Is there any problem here?"
Right.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought of that angle. I guess so. But I mean, the thing is that, like, I agree with them that they didn't have that meeting because for one simple reason, I want to live in a world where we don't have to have that fucking meeting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This guy who's suing for discrimination, bro. You know what I mean, man? Like,
you're such an ally.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I would say
I actually have an award for you. Right.
Yeah.
Hand it super quick.
Tissues.
Thank you so much. I just feel like, sure. Yes.
I'd have him on the stand for a second. I'd have him on just to embarrass him. Like, and when you couldn't do the talking first, how many people did you meet? No,
that's what I mean. Is it's one thing to be upset that you're like not part of the party, but what you're doing is you're hiring a lawyer to tell everyone you can't get laid.
Right.
And like, look, man, you know, we can all relate to not being able to get laid. You know, we've all been there. But like calling daddy, I don't know, dude. Come on, man.
I saw sad news. I almost hesitate to share this because I don't want it to get in people's heads about their relationships. But the great Jason Momoa, Aquaman, and
is
Lisa
suing
Bonet,
Bumble. Sorry.
Is suing Bumble. He is not getting it. No women are hitting on him. He's like, the guy has to talk first. It's old-fashioned. And Lisa Bonet from The Cosby Show have broken up after 16 years.
Now, this is breaking people up. Like, people have lost their sense that love exists. Because wasn't he talking like, this is the woman I'm spiritually connected with. We have like some other thing on some other level and blah, blah,
and
blah.
And it always seemed like her, like she seemed like the hippie to me, but they could both be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And the thing is, isn't that how everyone feels when they're getting married? Like, maybe not everybody, because some people get married for other reasons, but isn't that the whole vow situation? You're the one. I feel some differently connected to you than other people. It seems almost on a spiritual level. If I believe that the stars can write something, they wrote this story. Like, I don't know. If you believe that everything is next level, like this coincidence is next level and that thing is next level, then this is next level and they broke up. I don't know.
And I don't like that they want privacy after they got me involved in the first fucking place.
Oh my God. You guys know Nick Turner, right?
Yeah.
Yes. New York comic. He's like one of my favorite comics. Here's a joke I think about all the time that's about how, like, if you invite me to your wedding, I want to be invited to the divorce.
Yes.
And God, I just think that's so funny and so true.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on.
Jason
Momoa, Lisa Bonet, were they like, we kind of knew at 14 years. I want to know. I saw your red carpets and now I want to know.
I can't even picture. I don't know. I'm so sorry. This is a category of thing I don't know a lot about. And I guess the term is like gossip news, but I don't, just like who's dating who. I just don't know. I don't even know in my personal life. I don't even know who Lisa Bonet is.
The coolest Cosby chick.
Which,
the hot one.
The hot one.
the one that had the spinoff. The one we care about. What?
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
Tempest. Sorry, she did have that talk show.
I borderline don't know.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Right, we're talking about the one that did Playboy to get back at Cosby.
It was Malcolm Jamal Warner. Malcolm Jamal Warner and Jason Momoa, after 14 years, are breaking up. Okay, now I get it.
From Lisa's Instagram, which is Pride of Gypsies. Okay. All right. She wrote, we have felt the squeeze and changes. By the way, you got to take it personal when you break up during COVID, right? There's you or death, and it's worth a risk. It's sad. It's extra sad. It really is. I would take that funny. Personal. We've all felt the squeeze and changes of these transformational times. A revolution is unfolding, and our family is of no exception, feeling and growing from the seismic shifts occurring.
I can't help it. I'm still going to be in love with her. Dave, I understand what you just heard, but you have to see the essence of her.
Okay.
There is something about Lisa Bonet that once you just see a little bit of her, you will understand. Oh, yeah, that's how you talk. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
And so we share our family news that we are part, and there's a bunch of, spaces in between each sentence so you can really take it in. And so we share our family news space that we are parting ways in marriage. We share this not because we think it's newsworthy, but so that as we go about our lives, we may do so with dignity and honesty. The love between us carries on, evoking and I didn't write poetry like this when I was in love. You know what I mean?
I looked up who it was, and I totally know who that is, and I totally understand how she talks. Like I could, you're not wrong. Thank you. Yeah. It like makes
I thought
it all
you'd get
right.
it.
Yeah. It like makes it okay somehow.
Like like I would pay to, have her talk to me like that for 1 minute. Just look at my face and say some shit. I just want to hear it coming out of your face.
But it is also a clue about why the relationship maybe didn't work,
Maybe. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe. But
maybe after 14 years, he was like, could you just
speak English?
Talk about the groceries without a fucking couplet?
The thing is I think they were both like that. So it seemed like,
totally.
I think they both had that kind of talk whenever they posted on each other's thing. It is heartbreaking anytime you're with someone for a decent amount of time where they sincerely connected with each other and now they sincerely have to
for sure
disconnect. And that's hard, but
you just want people to be sad for a second. Be human. It smells of conscious uncoupling, and I don't like it. Somehow you ended up all better and evolved, and now you're both on a higher plane of existence and love, even though you won't fuck again. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's a lie.
We're sad today. Okay, good. Be sad today.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. It's a little too much fluff right away.
Yeah, you're thrilled. You sound thrilled. The love between us carries on, evolving in ways it wishes to be known and lived. What?
I will say,
go ahead.
My theory about I don't know. I forget exactly what it was that happened. I think the thing that broke me with regard to what happens in celebrities' personal lives being not at all real. I've you know what it was? It was Lemonade. And I've argued with a lot of people about this. When Beyonce put out Lemonade, I something happened in my brain where I was like, oh, this is all a movie. It really came crashing down. Because sure, I believe that Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. But you know what? I don't believe that she really gives a fuck. I don't think that she cares. And I would imagine she cares a little. Or cared, and then they made $1 billion releasing an album, and then they created this big public story that involved her sister, that involved all these people, and if you really think about it, think about the moving parts of that. The moving parts of that scenario for even the person that Jay-Z slept with behind Beyonce's back increased all of their fame, all of their money, just by nature of the knowledge of people, the amount of attention they all got. And then it just started making me think about, everybody got so emotionally involved in Kanye, running on stage when Taylor Swift was accepting an award, stuff like that. Everyone gets so upset and they know what they're doing.
You're saying it's like Kardashian stuff. Are you saying the whole thing is fake or something really did happen?
I do think I think part of it too is that now, I'm certainly not famous, but I am in this where I'm in entertainment. So there is a certain amount of what I do that's public, and I get to choose what that is. I'm aware of it. And the more that you're posting on social media in order to promote stuff and to be a part of your creative life, the more you start to notice certain things I could do get more attention. Certain things I could do will help get the word out there or will not help get the word out there. And once you start seeing that there's at least some math to it, it becomes clear, like, maybe it's not completely conscious, but I refuse to believe that there's not some part of it that is part of their job. They're like,
that's really interesting that you would say that, because it would be amazing to see what you were interested in and how much you have to say about that. So that's big speech from somebody who started with, I don't care about this. Here are my thoughts.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You're like, I don't care about celebrity gossip. For example, this one broke up, that one broke up. Here's
Right.
how I felt about it.
Oh, that's funny. Well,
You had a family tree of that night in the elevator.
well, but if you think about this, my references are all 10 years old at least, and I had 3 of them. And I think and that's not to say that I'm like so great. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure I know a billion, but I don't know any recent ones. But the thing is that I am involved in myself and my friends, and I care about it in essence. I think it's like, I don't know. The thing is that I kind of, not only do I think it's on purpose, I don't really mind. It makes me like mind less if it's all a performance. Like, yeah, it's all entertainment, right? And I don't mean to get into like I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think this is the Matrix, but I do think that we should be honest with ourselves, you know? Like, their life is public. Of course that there's a performative nature to it, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. How could you not have it bleed into each other? I also think like it is very much a part of that's how artists digest their own lives. They make their art about it. And if I was a singer, I would sing about my breakup. But if I was a stand-up, I would say, hey, my girlfriend and I just broke up. And then I would do stand-up material about it. So it really just is the continued material that they put out. Now they're in the midst of heartbreak. So that's what we're learning about them.
Yeah, I tell people how I ate my girlfriend's dog when we broke up, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So here's this is Pride of Gypsies continues, 16.6 million followers. We free each other. You are free. You're free. Because every broke up I was in ended up with fuck you. But this here, you're free. We free each other to be who we are learning to become. Our devotion unwavering to this sacred life and our children. Teaching our children, each thing's a new line, what's possible. Living the prayer. May love prevail, J&L. It's a little too much. It's a little too much.
Yeah, not only do I think that was them trying to make their public life a performative story, I think that they failed. I think they bombed. I think that was ridiculous.
But when the old love dies, new love does begin. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are engaged.
Oh, wow.
Sealed their union by drinking each other's blood.
Is that true?
What?
Yeah, look at them. Of course it's true. What do you mean? They have each other's blood with eggs in the morning. That doesn't. I thought Billy Bob Thornton taught us that doesn't hold up. The drinking each other's
Wait,
blood.
are you being
right?
serious? Who's Megan Fox? I thought she was the news person.
No,
Megan Fox.
No,
There's a couple Foxes.
Oh, that's not who I was picturing.
Megan Kelly,
Okay.
you're thinking?
from
Maybe.
Fox News is
I
probably
see.
who you're thinking. Yeah.
And who's
Megan
the
Fox
other guy?
is like a model, right? Actor.
Yeah, she's a model. She's was in Transformers.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's been
yeah.
around a minute. And Machine Gun Kelly is like a 9-foot tall rapper from Cleveland.
And he's an actual machine gun. Like she is out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, he looks like Justin Bieber, right? He's
Like
making
a little
these
bit.
tall
faces.
Justin Bieber, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a vampire Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
We are here underneath this tree where he asked me to marry him. We asked for magic in 2020 by this tree. We were oblivious to the pain we would face together in such a short, frenetic period of time, unaware of the work and sacrifices the relationship would require from us, but intoxicated off of the love and the karma. See, they're taking the place of the other couple. Somehow, a year and a half later, having walked through hell together, I did see one of those movies she was in.
Nice.
Having walked through hell together and having laughed more than I ever imagined possible, he asked me to marry him. And just as in every lifetime before this one, and as in every lifetime that will follow it, I said yes. and then we drank each other's blood.
No, are you, Keith? Are you serious about that last part?
Yes.
Come
on. We drank each
on.
other's blood. Yep.
Why do both of these groups of people speak that way?
It's fun. It's fun.
I guess that's
magic.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that's true.
I feel like I got to have an epic life like this now. Yeah. I love you on this plane and every plane.
Why not just drink each other's water? Like you have a sip, I have a sip.
Yeah.
It sounds nice. Like, you know, maybe I'll have an ice cube, you do, and we swap those ice cubes. Maybe that's nice.
She's in a 2021 movie with him. That's how they met. The movie's called Midnight in the Switchgrass. 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sure.
Give it a little. I don't know if you know the lesson from Geely. Give it a little time after a bomb like that. No, you don't build a relationship off of that. You have to have at least 25% easily.
I don't think he's looking at her box office numbers.
The box office numbers, right?
Box office. Yeah.
Dave, what you got going on today? What's next for you?
Oh man, today's an easy day. I don't know.
Nice.
I'm gonna do some writing. You know.
All right.
Your parents were right. What do you do? What the fuck?
Do nothing. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going back to school today. That's what I'm doing. It starts right now. I was like, I got to do Keith and the Girl, and then I'm fucking out of this job, man. I'm sick of this shit. And then, so I'm going to go to grad school, and I'm going to score some heroin. And
what did you take in college?
Start over.
What did you take in the first place? Yeah,
heroin. I have a degree. I have a bachelor's of arts in psychology.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
yes, that's right. Which is basically like getting a second high school diploma, and I really mean that. And I'm glad for it. It taught me. No. It's true. It is. Okay. It's not a dig, because in order, it's like, I still have I have a college degree. And I'm proud of it. I like what I learned. I'm not saying it was bad. I learned, and it grew my vocabulary. It grew my understanding of the world. It's good to go to school, and it's good to go to college. And so for that, but specifically a degree in psychology, what you do is you take like 3 intro classes, and then you just get to take a bunch of electives. And it literally is like going to psychology high school. If you want to learn anything that is applicable to actually treating human beings, you got to go to grad school. So, and I didn't do that. And most people do. Like, there's no reason to get a degree in psychology if you don't go to grad school. So I was just like, yeah, I'll learn a little and then I'll go be a comedian. I don't care.
So
I'll do it. Yeah.
That's amazing, though. Have you thought of starting your sets with, I have a psychology degree. So everything that I'm about to say is true. I know the human condition. Let's roll with it. Now, how many of you brought dogs for me to eat? Because I'm into it. I'm Dave Ross.
I have a degree in psychology, and I will eat your pets.
Has it ever helped you deal with people, or, could somebody with a degree, or as much as you took, like, manipulate a conversation? Do you have any idea where I'm coming from without me telling you?
I that's funny. I think that as far as manipulating others, manipulating conversations, that's more like pathology, I think you can learn about doing that at school. I think in order to do that, you have to, just like be sociopathic in one way or another.
Right. You can't raise your hand and ask that, right? Like, how do I trick people?
Yeah. Like,
is this the right class?
How do I coax people into doing my will? Yeah. You don't learn that in Psych 103.
You ever bring that up during an argument with your girlfriend? Like, hey, one of us took psychology, so
I have a BA in psychology, so shut up. Yeah. I like to talk to people like that. I think that in earnest, I think it probably has helped me like learn about people. It gave me a vocabulary and like an understanding of like a broad understanding of how people's minds might work. And what that definitely did for me was like enabled me to think about myself at least a little more. And it was cool in the sense that it like opened me up to like knowing what therapy is early on. And I like probably would have taken me a lot longer to go to therapy. I haven't done that.
Sounds like you want to write a book. Have you thought of writing a book?
Yeah, it's called Introduction to Psychology. Hey, one day,
Dave's notes instead of Cliff's notes.
Dave, Psychology by Dave. Chapter 1, eat your dog. Chapter 2, do heroin. Chapter 3, quit stand up.
You definitely want to follow Dave online with Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all the same. Dave to the Ross. Dave to the Ross.
DAVETOTHEROSS on everything.
And find out when his show I Love to Do Heroin is coming back.
Yeah. I sell heroin. I don't know exactly when it's coming back. It'll be back soon though. Yeah.
What's the biggest
thing I'm doing right now is my podcast. It's called What's It Called?
Right.
It's I do it with my buddy Caleb Sinan, who you guys might know. He's so funny. And it's funny how I don't know. I don't mean to, I'm not gonna, it's funny because it's my thing. So I don't want to go on a big rant about it, but you guys get it. You make a lot of stuff and you're like, it's good. But every now and then you make something when you're like, damn, this is good. And that's how I feel about this podcast. Good. It's my favorite. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you talk to your therapist about?
Oh man.
Anything recurring?
Yes. So honestly, I'm on a break. I haven't gone to therapy I do it every 5 or 6 years. I pull out for a year, but I'm about to start going back. But so this is the best example of how therapy worked for me. And it also really describes how my brain works and the way that I have depression, exactly how it works. I was in traffic recently, a couple of years ago. I was in traffic. I remember it was yesterday.
This is a stand-up comic telling a story, by the way.
Yeah.
I was in traffic today.
Driving to the airport.
Hey, great to be here. Oh shit. Actually, it's not. My mom died today. Let's talk about
it. And somebody cut me off in traffic, and immediately, involuntarily, without anything happening, I just thought, "Oh, of course they cut me off. They knew it was me." That's how my brain works. I'm depressed in this way where I fully believe that I am cancer and poison and everyone knows it. And they all checked in and they're all out to get me or just ignore me or hurt me because fuck me. That's how my brain. Now, obviously, I consciously know that that's not the case. That would be crazy. That would take a deep level of narcissism to fully believe that I'm that important to the world, that everyone's kill him or whatever. I hate him. But that's how bad the depression is. And what's cool about therapy is I see that now. Right. And so what's dope is that happened. And then right after that, I thought, oh, that's bad. There it is. And that's therapy
hysterical,
working.
It's historical. Yeah. Also, what's interesting about depression is it sounds like a negative version of narcissism, for that person. Whereas narcissistic people think that everything is bad and you can find in truth that everything is bad. If you look for it, you can go, oh, everything's bad. And the narcissist will want to attack you. But depressives are everything's bad and I want to kill myself.
Yeah. It's an inward attack for sure.
Well, because it's like you said, am I that important?
Yeah. It's just as self-obsessed. It is.
Right. And it's weird because it's the softer, sweeter version, it seems, but you're still... The result is not good. It's
still bad for you. Absolutely.
Yeah,
totally.
We've mentioned before, of course, BetterHelp and, throwing KATG all over there to save a couple bucks. But here's a little advice, people new to therapy. And I'm new, but I realized this. I said to my therapist right away, I said, if you know something, you figure something out, just tell me.
That's funny. Yeah,
I'm not here for the journey. I'll piece it together. Just tell me.
That's so funny because I've given up a therapist because I'm so I told her my problem and she just had a conclusion and I need a new therapist. I'm here. So you ask me the next right question.
Yeah. Huh.
That's it.
That's funny. I want you to tell me what you know right away. And I want to leave with a stupid little saying.
I have told a therapist, why do you know that? Why are you so sure of yourself? Why are you answering me like that? How do you even know? I don't like that.
You had one of the good ones. You had one of the good ones.
No, that was I left the person. And, no, the good one I had.
It sounds like you guys should just switch therapists.
Yeah.
Did you hear this, by the way, that it's finally, I know about it. I used to have a suicide podcast, and so I know a lot about the suicide hotline. It's true. The like,
were you suicidal? That makes you think to do that?
I have felt suicidal a bunch in my life. I've never tried. I felt like there were like a time or two I like came close to trying, but I've never like made an attempt.
What were the big problems? What makes you almost go there? Because I thought about doing it when I got a 10th grade report card. I debated how would I do this? I can't.
Well, that's the thing, is that it's not, I don't think that there are big problems really. I think it's just sort of like my brain gets there. Honestly, if I think about like the period in my adult life where I felt consistently suicidal was when I went through this period where I had so little money. I had to borrow money from my family, different members of my family and people in my life, like a bunch of times in a row in order to like eat. And I remember I just like did that. I did that enough times in a row where my self-worth was so low that I was like, I want to die. And I was already in therapy. And I like had enough self-talk in my head to be like, you don't want to die. But I wanted to be dead. I definitely did. I was like, I'm worth nothing and it's time to go. It was like what I thought. And then, that's the thing. That's the way therapy works for me. Like I just get these other voices in my head that argue with that voice. And so I had this voice that was like, all right, stand up, deal with it, stop it. Don't. And ever since then, I just like know that about myself. If I feel like I'm not self-sustaining, I want to die. And so I got to be self-sustaining, I
wonder if that upsets therapists. Like they know something's there and you're like, a car went in front of me on the highway today. And then finally you're like, oh, I'm suicidal. Now we're talking.
Right. Oh yeah. But 988 is about to be the suicide hotline. It's they've been working on it for years. 911 is emergency and 988 is going to be you can dial it. It's not yet, but soon it's going to be a suicide hotline.
Wow. Right. Yeah. That shows taking mental illness very seriously, because now you have an emergency line for our physical being and now for our emotional state as well.
Yeah, it's cool.
Right. Wow. I hope they have real good people on that other line, because
I know.
Ugh. That's my PSA for that. Hope you, hope you hire the right people, because oh boy.
Yeah, totally. What do you want? Who is this? I called once for somebody else. I had like a fan that kept messaging me that they were going to do it. And I like freaked out and I called them, and it was really interesting. I talked to them at length about the person who called. And then the person on the line was like, but how are you? And,
right. I was like, be rude.
I think I literally said like, wow, this is a great service. Thank you. I'm okay. I guess I'm fine.
So yes, follow Dave online. Of course, Dave, very nice meeting you.
You too, Keith. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I want to send my congratulations to Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. And obviously my congratulations to Aquaman and Lisa Bonet. Apparently they could be more fucking thrilled. Fucking me. I'm angry. But good for everybody. Remember, our 24-hour live show will be happening soon. Subscribe now, obviously for free, on our YouTube channel under Keith and the Girl. Okay, you're going to catch over 50 guests in a row on Keith and the Girl Live. The end.